When you're in a situation where they say 80% of your job is hearing the word no, you find a different way to hustle.
Oh my God, I've had so many side jobs. I feel like that's like the norm. And then booking the gig is like the big bonus Christmas present.
There were definitely rough times where, you know, it was a lot of rejection. That's just one of the things that comes with it that you sort of have to learn very quickly. So yeah, there was periods of sort of no auditions and then getting auditions but not booking anything.
I did a lot of like extra stuff, like the Judge Judy type shows, music video extra work. I did extra work for student films, which is like the silliest thing you could do.
I used to have about 4 to 5 jobs at any given time. At one point I was a college professor, which sounds very impressive, but I was a college professor of improv, so take that as you will. I also had a job at the same time cleaning a gym. Usually my job was to wipe the blood off the wall. It was a Muay Thai gym, so yeah.
I was a bike courier from Munchery.com on the Upper East Side and the Upper West Side. And for about 5 hours a day, I would bike back and forth delivering food. Which is also interesting when you're on a show because you open up a door and someone's like, hey, you're the guy from Search Party. You're like, here's your food.
I was a screenwriter finalist on the 2nd season of Project Greenlight. I lost, which was, I think, good.
The very first commercial I did was for Wendy's. I played a character called the Memer, where I was the millennial who was doing a live meme. To this day, there are trolls still bothering me about it and making me feel really bad about that decision. But hey, paid rent for a while.
My first acting gig was for a commercial for Guaranteed Rate. When I got there, I was very confused about what to do, but everybody was super nice.
I graduated from college and my father said he could lend me some money. And I was like, no, I'm uncomfortable with that. I don't want you to do that. You know, it's gonna be a long time before you see this money back.
When I got the call for NCIS, I was really shocked. But you can always kind of tell, like, if it's gonna be a good call or a not great call.
The first scene I was sent to audition with were one scene sat with Dud on the sofa watching television, and another was Liz in Shamrocks.
I got the script and I was immediately just like, oh my God, I relate to this character so much. I went in and I read for the producers, and I think I was maybe like the 3rd person to read. Like, it was really, really early on. Then I just crossed my fingers and waited to hear, and it all worked out.
When the audition came through, it was just an untitled pilot about American football. So I jumped at the chance and I taped in London and didn't hear anything for 2 weeks. And then my agent called me at 11 o'clock in the evening. She said, you need to be on a plane tomorrow. I'm sending you a ticket, they want you in LA. Re-audition, and then the next day, I was like sitting by the phone and checking every 2 minutes. And so in the end, I was like, I need to get out of here. So I thought, I'm gonna go see LA, and I was on my way to the Hollywood sign, and that's when my agent called me. Just as I was arriving, she was like, yeah, you got the part.
Getting the show picked up straight to series by Lifetime was the most simultaneous excitement and fear feeling. On the one hand, I had been waiting for so long to get to tell this story, and then at the same time, as soon as that light turns green, you're like, how are we gonna pull this off?
So I'm just stressed, you know, like pacing around, and they're like, we need to get this girl some answers because she's gonna like pop a blood vessel. Then they told me that night, and everybody got to watch my very enthusiastic and emotional reaction. These people changed my life.
Lodge 49, I think, continues to surprise people in a really shocking yet also organic way. You can go from laughing out loud to genuinely welling up within entire scenes, and at no point does it feel like you're being manipulated that way. And so upon reading that, I knew that that's what this character has to be able to do and show. Something that is so lovable about these characters in this show is that everyone is working really hard just to be as content as possible, or to figure out what they're doing in life when they land in a place that they didn't expect.
There was an episode that we did. The episode is called I Feel Bad, I Get Sick of Being Needed. She ends up, like, everyone needs something from her. The kids, her husband, her parents, and she just can't take it anymore, and she escapes to her neighbor's house who are out of town and basically starts living there. And that's such a relatable feeling, I think, for so many women.
I think fans are connecting with DeMarcus Tillman because he feels real. Like, somebody told me they never heard someone say low-key on TV. but kids say it every day, you know? It's just not really scripted.
Like sometimes, low-key, I be wondering like why he play basketball, because he not that good.
Being able to bring parts of that into the store, I felt like people responded to.
These houses were built on an old zoo that burned down. The fire was started by a bunch of the crazy animals who wanted to escape.
I kind of prefer playing Fillmore sometimes because it's fun to play somebody who is more of a jerk. I don't know, I like playing that type of character.
What?
I think younger folks connect to Pat because he is the young guy amongst older folks in a workplace, and I think that's a experience a lot of millennials can relate to.
It wasn't me! I love you, Pat! Boundaries, Miles.
I think Pat expresses a lot of the frustrations that a lot of younger people have. Pat is also learning a lot from these veterans, and as Murphy's passing along a lot of valuable lessons, and I think that kind of generational dynamic is exciting.
I think Spencer's one of those characters that you can show a lot of young African-American boys that should never be afraid to kind of chase that thing that sort of keeps you up at night, and that your sort of whole life is sort of centered around.
There's a scene with Gibbs where I kind of make a little break in the case, and he's so excited. He gives me like this really nice like fatherly kiss on the cheek, and it's so sweet. And just to have a chance to play someone who gets to have these moments where they're like, yes, I discovered something, I made a difference. I think that's so cool. I want to do that in real life.
I think that there's a lot that we talk about in The Haunting of Hill House which we don't talk about in our day-to-day lives. Childhood trauma, PTSD. Very few people get out of their childhoods unscathed by some sort of traumatizing event, small or little, whatever it means to you. And we forget that, like, there's a sensitive little child in there. I really love that about this show.
One of my classmates texted me and talked about how much he loved the show.
Just gotta find your own version of music.
When you know someone who's seen your work previous and they've seen you grow through the years, and then they say like, hey, you're doing it, man, you're doing a good job, that warms you.
There's no room in my life for mediocre TV anymore. But that's also the pressure of making the show. What is the point of just making another version of a show that's already successful? That show is accessible forever. You can go on a lot of streaming services and watch the best version of it, which is probably the original. So I think I have felt more pressure and more excitement about making something genuinely original.